Okay, we are live. Nice. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Hi, I'm Alok. I'm the Devrel at ApeChain. I'm here with Mateus from Venture Miner Academy and Ryan, who's a product developer at ApeChain as well. Welcome all. This is our kickoff for the Vibe Code program for ApeChain builders. And we're here to give you some insights as to what to expect from the program. What are the requirements, things like what do you want to build, all of that, and answer any of your questions. So I'll hand it over to Mateus, who's going to introduce what vibe coding is and everything around it. Mateus?
Thank you very much, Alok. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the live today. Thank you, Ryan, for coming here as well, sharing your vibes. So you might be very familiar with ApeChain already, all the cool stuff that we can do on chain, all the great projects that are out there. And you might have sparked your interest on starting building something, maybe a small NFT project, maybe a small dApp, And usually you need to go through a full course, like a full formal course for you to learn how to develop all of this kind of stuff, right? Solidity code, deployment, and front end, JavaScript, and all of that, and the back end. What if I told you that now you can get started just with English? Maybe even Spanish, Portuguese, Russian, Japanese, whatever language you would prefer. Because now, instead of writing the lines of code ourselves, we have brilliant technology called LLMs, GPTs, like this one that you use in ChatGPT, that can spit out code for you. With this code, we're going to have a lot of bugs as well, unfortunately, and I'm going to help you to navigate through that. But in this bootcamp, you're going to learn how a common person, a creative person, a designer, a lawyer, your grandmother, your kids can deploy decentralized applications with safety, with guidance through this bootcamp by using the correct tools and techniques and deploy your project on ApeChain in just 4 weeks, 8 sessions. So join us. It's going to be super exciting. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Ryan. It's going to be a great opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited just to see our community come together and unleash all of their creative potential. So we get hit up all the time in our community chats about ideas that people want to bring to life. And this is their opportunity to do so. I think the biggest misconception, even with vibe coding, is I still need some sort of technical expertise. I have to have coded before, maybe even worked in tech industry before, but that's not true. And I think what these courses will highlight for you and allow you to see with your own eyes is these beautiful things being built with, like Matthias said, which is just through conversation, right? And if we can help you become better conversationalist with the tech and helping lead that technology to kind of help build these ideas, then I think we're going to see a lot of amazing new products get launched on ApeChain because you'll be enabled and you'll have that blocker removed of I can't do this, or this isn't my expertise, or I need 3 more team members to help me out. And, I think we'll see a lot of interesting minimum viable products and products overall kind of get built out of this camp. So like they said, we're here. This is your session to ask us anything. I know there's a lot of questions about what I need to know. How do I get prepared? What should I build? So any of those discussions, we're excited to have topics on.
Awesome.
Let me go next. Actually, before we ask the audience for questions, I want to ask you about. Let's walk us through a bit. Or what's an MVP, and what's more like, I would say, the life cycle of a product from ideation all the way to launch.
Yeah, I can provide some insight, and then I think Mateus probably has insight from his seeing a lot of these cohorts go through. For us, I think it's you start with the vibe, right? It's called vibe coding for a reason. You have this feeling, you have this idea, there's this cultural movement, there's this excitement that you get of something you want to bring to life. And then you hit reality a little bit, right? Like, and you're like, okay, cool. What does it take to like bring this thing into existence? With LLMs and AI, that part has become easier. So an MVP is just the minimum viable product, or some people say it's a prototype. But the difference between an MVP and a prototype is that word viable. And so this class is going to teach you a little bit of how do you go from vibe to viable. And so you have this idea, you have this energy, you need to then see if it's a problem for anybody outside of you, right? So you may say, oh, I got this great solution. I have this thing that I deal with every day, but it may be only you, right, having that issue. That's not a product market fit, right? So this will be, how do you build a product that solves a problem, is the minimum way to solve that, and then turn it into a solution set for your customer. And then once you have that, you get into, okay, how do you start bringing on these first users? How do you learn from what those first users are doing in your app? How do you grow and scale the app past that initial MVP and to revenue, right? And I think that's kind of the piece. So when you think of the life cycle of the product, that's kind of how I view it. But I think if we were to encapsulate it in like a phrase for this boot camp, it's really that journey from vibe to viable. But Matthias, I know you do these cohorts all the time. Like, tell us a little bit about like your perspective on that.
Well, usually, I actually, before GPTs and all, usually we had to go through 8 weeks of boot camp to go from introduction to Solidity, and then the app development, front end, back end, integrations, oracles, and all. Alok, you might have seen some of these programs out there, right? So we used to do that a lot, and we trained a lot of people with that, like 5,000 people or so. But things are changing fast, because the cruel reality of how software developments go, especially for entrepreneurs, especially for new projects, is that sometimes you're building something that unfortunately no one wants. I've done that in the past. I'm the master of 007, like 0 bugs, 0 revenue, $7,000 in debt. So I have a lot of projects like that. So this is bad, people. Whenever we know how to code, we think that we should build products, but sometimes people don't want these products. And if you can make a prototype first, something that took 10 years to learn, that sometimes if you do a prototype first and sell that, you don't have the software yet. You're not going to fool anyone, of course. But if you can test this prototype with someone, see if they would buy, see if they would invest, check if there is product market fit, PMF, then you have a signal, and then you invest in development, right? So this is something that I see very beautiful in vibe coding. I don't think myself, my personal opinion, okay, that it's going to replace developers this year, maybe not next year, someday it might happen. But for now, it is a great way for us to prototype, from us to go from vibes to viable, like Ryan said, perfectly. So if you guys want, I can do a rundown of the program, what's going to be the first sessions and now what we're going to have. And then we can open for questions and more discussions around the topic.
Absolutely. Let's go.
Let's go. So the program, registrations are open. Luma, ApeChain Vibes, that easy. Go there. Let me put that in the comments as well. ApeChain Vibes. You can go for this page. If you subscribe, let me share my screen. If you subscribe for today's session as well, the link is there. You're going to find the link in the page. So if you are in this Luma page, you're going to find like sign up today. Here, the link. This link is going to take you to this page, which is the official page for the program. I had it open, I don't know why I closed here. The official page for this program. The registrations are open. This is showing that I'm in because I have registered, of course. I'm teaching, I don't want to miss that. But if you are there, if you did not register yet, enter this page and register. Fill in your idea, fill in what you want to build, and register now. Don't wait for tomorrow. And you're going to go over 4 weeks with us. It starts on the 16th of September, on a Tuesday, 10 a.m. at EDT. Might be later, earlier for you on your time. And mark your calendar, because every Tuesday and every Thursday, we're going to have sessions during 4 weeks, okay? Even if you don't know how to code, even if you just have your idea, if you are still in the ideation stage, if you found the technology very cool, I want to be there, I want to build something, but you don't know how to build, this is the correct place for you, okay? It doesn't require a single previous requirement. You don't need to have computer science degree, you don't need to have engineering degree, you just need to have good ideas. Okay, so if you have good ideas, subscribe today, you are in the correct place. We are going to go all over the fundamentals, how to use the correct tools, correct prompting techniques, prompt engineering, the correct flow of development, to avoid frustration, avoid bugs. We're going to have a lot of ideation as well, like Ryan was mentioning. It's not just because you can ship code that you should ship code. So what code is worth for you to work on? We're going to have a lot of sessions of that. We're going to have real content with third web, integrations with ApeChain using this library called third web, with actually a suite of tools using AI and Web3 boilerplates and templates that we can use for building decentralized applications and deploy them on ApeChain. We're going to go from MVP to masterpiece. You can deploy your project at the end of this bootcamp. I would just make a lot of asterisk there, because like if you are building something with financial, for example, to accept payments with financial transactions, or like minting NFTs and all, it's always good to hire an audit later, but at least the software development part before the audit, you can do in this bootcamp. It should work very well, okay, for you to deploy your MVP to production, or maybe even to testnet. We're going to go over things like ERC20, 721, very easy. Using third web, we can implement those smart contracts very easily. And then we're going to help you to launch this project, because at the end, you're going to have very good exposition opportunities. I will leave Alok to speak more about that at the end, but this is not only for the educational part. You're going to have very good opportunities at the end if you launch your project live, okay? So the structure of lessons, like I mentioned, is every Tuesday and every Thursday. We started September 16th with the introduction of vibe coding, 2 hours to go over everything that you need. And then a great session for ideation. No coding here. It's more ideation for you to frame your idea correctly, for you to determine if your idea is worth building or no.
Yeah.
Then,
Mateus,
yes.
just because we have a question in the chat on ideation, there was a good question around, what if I don't have an idea yet? That first ideation session is going to help you figure out what you need to build, what ApeChain wants to see, like, because we have some ideas of, how this chain can grow, what we've learned consumers like from their crypto experiences. So if you don't have an idea, you can still join, and you'll come up with an idea during these sessions that you can build, and they'll be even facilitated by us. I'll also be running my own, like, tangential to this, streams where I do some vibe coding of ApeChain products. So maybe you can tune into one of those and get an idea of something that I build as a prototype that you want to take to completion. So there'll be lots of ideas that you can kind of adopt or get inspiration from, even if you don't have one quite yet. So this is really, truly for anyone to participate that wants to be a builder on ApeChain, or be a creative on ApeChain.
That's great. That's great. If you have great ideas, tell them here in the chat. Maybe you find someone else with a great idea that you want to build with. So if you are following on YouTube or on Twitter, maybe even on LinkedIn, post here in the chat your wildest ideas, and then let's see if we can get those ideas coming. Ryan is going to help you to turn those ideas into formatted businesses, billion-dollar worth businesses, maybe. And also not for the money part, of course. You need to be impactful and all of the other requirements. So first session, get started with vibe coding, then ideation, very important. If you don't have an idea, it doesn't make sense for you to learn all of that. It's going to be detached, right? So getting yourself attached and passionate about an idea is very important, even at the beginning. Every weekend, we are going to have some milestones. So first a weekend, we're going to put this idea like in a landing page, something that you can show for people. Then in the second week, after you're passionate about your idea, we're going to give you guidelines on how to build these projects, how to get started with a template, using third web, how to put your project structured live so that you can test some buttons to mint something or send a transaction. Your project is going to start getting a little of structure, even without learning how to code these lines of code themselves, like with your hand in the keyboard. You're going to chat with an AI, and the AI should build your project. We're going to give you these guidelines. Then on Thursdays, another lesson, which is not going to be more about coding, is more about how to go to the market, how to find a PMF. So it's not only about having a good idea. You need to have an idea that makes sense. It needs to be viable economically, of course. So how to target your audience, even if it's like non-profit, and I would still, maybe the economical part of it is not like money, revenue, maybe it's like impact, or maybe it's like audience. So this session is going to be great for us to avoid the things that I did in the past, that I built great projects, 0 bugs, but no audience, no clients. It's going to be great for guiding you there as well. In the third week, we start with third web representatives doing a demo there of actually building your MVP. So more than just prototypes and small attempts, we are going to flesh out the skeleton of your app. You're going to have actual features like deploying a smart contract, like delivering some usability for your end user. And then we're going to go over that on Thursday of that week, on the 2nd of October, actually integrating all of those Web3 features. There you probably have your project, your first version of the project in that weekend, that you might even start trying with people, doing some testnet transactions. The expectation is that by the third week there, you might have this third web implementation in place. And then in the fourth week, it's time to go live. Revenue, maybe get investment. Just kidding. Well, let's get this expectation in place. In the fourth week, you're going to learn how to launch your project to market, go to market, how to maybe advertise that, maybe how to get your audience around, how to create channel, create community, and then launching your project live in mainnet, if possible, on the 9th of October. Just in place for you to finish this bootcamp from idea to viable, launch it in mainnet, ready for you to demonstrate your project and compete for the prizes.
Yeah, and real quick,
Alok.
I think there's a lot of talk around taking an idea, launching it, right? And you may think, oh, do I have to have my own startup for this? Or, is the goal always to develop these skills so I can launch my own thing? Well, somebody asked a good question. Well, do employers hire vibe coders these days? And I think this is a great question, and something you will see. I'm already seeing job descriptions for it, but people are already replacing a lot of their lower level analysts and stuff with people that understand this, because the work that a junior coder did, typing out all of the structure and stuff, can now be done by AI. So learning these skills puts you in a position to be leveraged within a technology company, even if you don't want to go start your own company or build your own idea or put your own projects out there. This can be a skill that can be leveraged within your job. And you don't even have to be a software developer. You could be in the marketing department of a company. But this will teach you to launch your own landing page, maybe create a little app that your users can land on as part of a campaign. vibe coding is a skill that everybody should have in their tool set, regardless of whether they want to be an entrepreneur, right? Like they can just be an employee at a regular job. And I guarantee you, within the next 5 to 10 years, every single industry, every single job will be touched in some way by vibe coding and how you bring projects online. So don't be scared if like you don't want to launch your own thing. Maybe you want to be a part of a team. Like Matthias said, maybe you can find your team members as part of this camp and workshop opportunity. But also, I think this is just building a skill set that will be valuable for you regardless of what you go do with it long term.
This is a great question, because nowadays being able to showcase a portfolio project speaks way louder than certification. Unfortunately, people are like getting fake certifications. You can use an AI, for example, to be certified in I'm going to say something random, like IBM security practices SOC2, for example. You can pick ChatGPT or Cloud and take the certification very easily if you want. So from the recruitment side, speaking of my experience with VentureMind, we do these recruiting services. I have interviewed more like 1,000 developers in the last 10 years or so. I've landed like more than 30, maybe 40 roles for people in my company, in other companies. And my personal take in recruiting is not that much of like looking at certifications and how it's important, of course, but looking at deployed projects. What have you shipped? Even if you've never had a formal experience inside a company yet, even if you are a student, but if you can demonstrate that you went from idea to launching your project as a portfolio project, at least for me and from a lot of recruiters that I know, this can stand out a lot. If you are studying for 2 years, if you don't have any experience like corporate experience or formal experience, but if you have a portfolio of active projects every month or every couple months, you have a new project live that you can test, interact with it. Maybe even if you're not like launching your own company, but if you want this to be a showcase project, this is a great opportunity. I've done that in all of my past boot camps, and this has helped a lot of my students to land jobs in great companies, because having portfolio speak by itself, it's way stronger than any certifications. When you can look at the commits, look at your thought process, look on how you collaborated with other team members in your team, in your project. This is a great way for you to get a job or to get ammunition to present yourself to get a good job. So that's a great question.
I'll answer one question. Is like, do we have a support channel or forum to network and ask questions during this bootcamp? Yeah, so we'll set up a builders channel. We're working on it, and it will be live around the time the first session kicks off.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
And then there's one other question in here, and it relates to the schedule around how do I use Safe Wallet Connect options for builds? Will you teach things other than prompt engineering? I think that October 2nd session where you tackle integrating Web3 features, we will do that. And, we'll go over, things that we use. So like for wallets, I use Glyph a lot now on ApeChain because it provides access across the entire ecosystem and has some good feature support and allows for better onboarding because it allows, Gmail and stuff. So we'll go over those things. And I think it's another good call out with the schedule is we're about to go in who will be teaching some of these sessions. So not only are you getting like expertise and a lot of really heavy hitters from the ecosystem to give you their insights and advice, but we're going to be providing you tooling as well to help, get these things done. So whether it's subscriptions to things like Third Web or, other insights into, what Web3 features work best, what we use, how you should do those things, then you'll get a lot of those insights. So Tom, certainly we will be putting a lot of effort into not just building products, because anybody can build products, but this is Web3 products on ApeChain. So, there will be a certain scope to this that is all about that. Like if you wanted to just go build normal products, you'd probably go attend another venture miner course that wasn't directly related to Web3 and ApeChain. So that stuff will certainly be included.
Wonderful. Alok, would like to mention a bit about who is going to be joining from ApeChain. what kind of guest speakers should we expect? I guess I'm standing out in the jungle here with my first and last name, but let me know what we're going to get from ApeChain side as well.
Yeah, I'll just quickly walk you through it. Cam is the head of Ape, as everyone knows in the Ape space. He's going to kick off the first session where he's going to talk about some good ideas, like what do we want to see, things like give you some ideas, essentially just spark your ideas to actually give them some rails. So what direction you want to build, like what essentially what works, what doesn't, what's like his favorite word is sticky. So you're going to be focusing on what makes a good Web3 app. So that's essentially the kickoff session. Then we're talking to PP. PP is well known among the Yuga folks and the Ape Club unraveling. So essentially like product market fit. So that's the PMF, what we covered before. So again, like around the similar lines. And then comes through Third Web. Yeah, so Third Web is one of our like earliest infra partners, and they provide a suite of tools, right? Like it's not just wallet, it's just like they provide everything if you want to use Web3 in your product from start to scale. They provide you the whole suite of tools, and they have been generous enough to offer us a starter pack. So you would be able to, I mean, like there's no infra needs beyond that. Like it covers everything. Next is James. James is the head of engineering at Yuga again, and he's gonna talk about more he's gonna go deeper into technical stuff. And yeah, I mean, like again, like as we go further, this is gonna unravel. Why Lost and Spend, they will cover like mostly like things around GTM. So you actually like built your product, like you actually go live. What now, right? Like how do you actually start onboarding? Spend is like a community beast. Lost is I would say like the head of social. So he's like going to focus on things like how do you actually how do you work on your reach, and Why is going to talk you through the how do you look around things like partnerships, how do you actually like productize your idea. And towards the end, I'm going to be talking about more like what are the things that you actually want to like tick off before you actually go live. So there's like small things, but I usually think of it like 80-20 problem. Like 80% of your product goes like smoothly, but then the last 20% is actually like the one where you're actually going to go back and forth to actually like finish and then call it, okay, this is ready. This is like I can like introduce your first users to my product.
That's a great lineup.
Yeah, and there will be replays in case you can't be there for a session. So the sessions will be recorded. The goal is to have this help as many people in our community as are available to take it. So, we don't want to gate it in too many ways, but, we do encourage you to be active participants. So, sign up as, early as you can, try and show up to the classes, do the homework assignments along with it, and be active participants even if you can't attend one of the sessions. But we do want to make it accessible to everybody. And then what Alok said is part of this will be vibe coding, part of this will be vibe debugging too. And vibe debugging is a lot less fun than vibe coding is, but it's an important skill set for everybody to kind of get under their belts to put out good quality products here. So should be a lot of fun.
Wonderful. That's great. So to recap, if you did not yet, come from ApeChain Vibes, luma.com, ApeChain Vibes, ApeChain-Vibes, and then you can register. And at the end, you are going to deploy your app, go from idea to app, have portfolio project, execute the go-to-market for that, launch the app, and be part of the community. Good. Alok, do you have any alpha to share on the possible opportunities for people attending and completing all of the homework and the projects?
Yeah, so I mean, our goal is to get every single builder to actually like follow through and actually have a app deployed on ApeChain mainnet. I mean, there's no point putting all this hard work and then users don't actually have access to it. So we want you to like follow through. Don't worry too much of like, I mean, I know like it's a bit daunting to actually like have your product out there and it's live, but there is a phrase that like, if you're scared, just do it scared. uh, there's nothing like holding you back, right? Like there's all the support we have. We have all the bases covered, right? All your tech is covered. We're gonna take care of all your infra needs. We have like Third Web again, like recap. Third Web has generously provided us with their starter plan as well. So beyond that, like if you want to like figure out, okay, like because like this is like targeted at all different kind of builders. We have like technical people who may need help in terms of actually going to market, getting a distribution, building a community. Or you could be like, hey, you know what, like I already have like 10,000 followers, they're just waiting for me to something to ship. So it doesn't matter what's your background. This is, we're going to focus on all the bases, everything from idea all the way to launch. So and of course, once you actually go live, that's where we're gonna like go back and like go through every single product, right? Like, so we, at the end of the program, we have a demo day. So just like share what you built, right? Like that's the part I'm looking forward to most, to actually like see of like everyone's hard work come to fruition. And beyond that, I would just say like good luck. Like this is like an incredible opportunity that all those, I would say like everyone has one product in their back pocket, but they're like, okay, I'll get started on this one day. This is that opportunity, right? Like it can't get better than this. And also like, there is like this, some feedback is that like people are like overthinking. Don't overthink it. Sometimes like the simplest ideas are actually the most game changing. Like I come from an app background, like mobile app, and some of my favorite apps are, I mean, actually the top of my list would be a game called Flappy Bird from like 10-12 years ago. If you think about it, it's the silliest thing ever, right? Like you literally just like tapping the screen. It was built by a solo indie developer in somewhere in Southeast Asia, and it just caught the world by storm. It was like you could essentially like, even without white coding, you could build it in one day. And all it had was an ad banner, and it was raking in like something that was like 50K a day in revenue. So you don't actually have to build the next, I don't know, like Hyperliquid or something. Just like focus on an idea, make it fun, and let's say we take it up from there.
Yeah. And then, the thing I'll add there, because, I think it's important to realize, Alok said, you'll get the tech. So you'll get the tools you need, subscription to you need. You get people. And, I know it's a lot of times we take for granted when Cam comes to a space or, somebody shows up. You get Cam, you get PP Man, you get Alok, you get Losh, you get Spend, you get everybody that everybody wants to have a meeting with. So if you have been trying to get these people attention, this might be a good place to do it because you're showing off like how you're bringing ideas to life, what skills you're building, but you're also getting insight from them around how to get their attention. So, lots of people, like the thing with vibe coding is now the barrier to entry to get something out in the world is fairly low. But that means like what catches people attention, you have to have higher signal like to cut through all that noise of these products being launched. So this is your opportunity to potentially do that. And then last is, if you do end up going through this whole thing, launching something, doing demo day, and it aligns with ApeChain's strategy of that will outlay, then there's a good chance you'll get discovery from us. Maybe you'll get a spot on the ApeChain website within our ecosystem map. Maybe we'll feature you in a spotlight season because like we love doing that with community builders. The sky is a little bit the limit of like what happens after this. If you do the completion, you put in the effort, you build a real idea, you could actually get further opportunity post the tools, the access, that will help you actually grow this thing. And Machiavelli, I think this gets to your question, which is, so do we own this thing and do we own the revenue? Yeah, like we're not taking rev share of what gets built out of this. We don't own the IP of everything that gets built out of this. these are your products, your things. So if they start making money, that's your money. Like, we're not going to come back and say, oh, you owe us 30%. Now that you brought that up, I might try and make a special deal with you on the side, but no, the company isn't. But yeah, no, this is your opportunity to get some great stuff out, and I think really upcycle your own opportunity to get visibility within the ecosystem and distribution, which is some of the hard parts of product development.
Yeah, just like another question, just like to slip it in there. Will we have replays available in case we can't be there for all the dates? Yes, all these sessions will be recorded and will be available to view later. So you can watch them at your own pace. But I would recommend that do not like fall behind in terms of the pace of the program. So if it doesn't fit your schedule or something, go ahead, like watch it whenever it's convenient with you. But just do not like fall too far behind, because like it's there's like certain sense of momentum and you're building as a community. So we would recommend that you just like follow the pace of the program, because it's all like sequential, focusing from ideas to building and then distribution, all of that. And sometimes like if you take it too slow, it may be that like you lose momentum, lose steam, or it's just like that you just like falling too far behind. So I would just recommend that like keep up with the pace of the program.
Yeah, also we're going to have homework, and also there is a big social component here, so we're doing that in cohort. So if you watch this 3 weeks after, okay, everyone has completed their projects and you're falling behind. So yes, you can watch the replays, but maybe like this, maybe in the day after, if you couldn't attend, or if you had some emergency, watching the weekend before the next week. Don't snowball the program all in the fourth week. It's impossible unless you have a time capsule like Dragon Ball that you can go and watch the videos in a month. But you should be having weekly progress in the program every week. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind easily. Okay.
Yeah, and last thing I'll say is we're going to learn from you all on this one. I'm sure there will be parts of this that we get right that are really great that you guys love. There's going to be parts that probably you wish we did differently, or you had different access to tools, or a different guest speaker covered something in a little more detail. Please, like, this is our first opportunity to do these as well. So give us feedback all the time. Well, you know where to find us. Alok and I are readily accessible. And we will incorporate it if we can into like live, making this one better by adjusting sessions and things like that. But also, hopefully, we get to do this again. Like, if this is super successful, we get a lot of builders. Hopefully, we get to keep doing these things. So, yeah, really, really appreciate the community response so far, because just the enthusiasm about it has been phenomenal to see. Now, I think if we could like channel all this energy that's coming from us and the community into this program, I think we're going to see some great results. But always do want to be mindful that, like, yeah, we won't get it perfect. So please be ready and able with your feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to like add something also. Don't be discouraged anywhere down the line. I mean, like, I feel that people, when they start building, there's a huge sense of like fear that like the sense of this acceptance, like, like the whole process of what we wanted to focus on towards finding PMF and finding your audience. But that also doesn't mean like everyone knows everything, right? Like you can always like go back, iterate, fix it, come back. There is no like, oh yeah, my first idea didn't get first user in the first 30 minutes, that's it, like scrap, go back. No, that's not how it works. Again, I keep using like real world examples. Harry Potter the book was rejected by 12 publishing studios, just like to process that. The game, I don't know if like people are familiar with it, but the game Bordeaux was initially created in 2013, and then it just sort of disappeared. It came back in 2021, and it was at the end of the day an idea that a man built like a fun game for his wife 8 years later, and it got picked up by the New York Times. So do not overthink it. Do not get this like jitters. Put it out there. Like just clean up the edges, go back, see what works, what doesn't, and do not like try to cram too many features. focus on like one feature, fixate on that, and then go back. Like if you go think about Google is not the same Google from 20 years ago. Facebook is not the same. Everyone iterates, everyone launches. People like launch threads. If you think about it, not everything works. But that's just like how tech works. That's just how products work. Like you cannot, there's no playbook, there is no such like cheat codes. You just like go back and forth until like you find that one niche slash product that you just like you align with and your audience aligns with, and that's it. You found gold there.
Yeah, my favorite story there, look, is actually Pokemon. Like the guy originally pitched it to Nintendo, and Nintendo looked at him and said, "Kids collect physical things like baseball cards. They are not going to go around collecting digital animals." And he was like, okay, cool. And then he had to do lots and lots of work to get to the point of them saying, okay, I see the vision here. And that just reminds me so much of NFTs. Like, how many people have said, like, oh, nobody's going to collect a image that I can just right click save or things. So there's also, like, especially with AI, like this um thought and society that like it's not real product, or that like nobody's gonna do it this way. uh you know I think that's just a lie. Like you got to get comfortable with being vulnerable a little bit, and vulnerability is just putting it out there and iterating. like um like Matthias said, I think the 007 thing is too good because, but he's doing another cohort. He's launching another product. He hasn't quit. But like that will happen to you probably 99 times before you hit your one. But like Luke said, just be comfortable with that a little bit.
Yeah, and also don't, again, like going back to like don't overthink it. Everyone is like, hey, I want to think of an idea that's never been done before. Be comfortable with the idea that what you want to do has been done before, because that actually means that the idea has already passed the validation phase. So it means that if you want to build like another NFT marketplace, everyone's gonna be like, we have multiple NFT marketplaces, like we have multiple coffee shops, we have multiple burger joints. That's not like if one thing's done, that's it, right? Like we can't do that anymore. Figure out like what works, and it means that people are paying for that. So all you have to do now is actually make something better, because you already know that the idea works and it can onboard customers. So there is no shame in actually like revalidating your idea that already exists. So you don't actually have to overthink like I want to build something that like absolutely no one's even thought about that. That I think like that makes validation even harder. Just like focus like don't overcomplicate it. That's all.
Nice, nice. We have a question here in the chat about the signups. So up to the 16th, you can sign up. Alok mentioned about the channel, Telegram channel, something like that, for us to put all of the members. So the earlier you sign up, the earlier we're going to message you, process your application, and message you for you to be part of the cohort, right? And we want to expand on that, Alok, about the
So
onboarding.
like we've already approved the first batch of builders, so I would recommend that like get your application in as soon as you can. Don't wait till the last moment, because we want to kick off this program like in not like in one day and all of a sudden it's like it's a phase. You're gonna meet other builders, you're gonna iterate, like you're gonna speak to like just like get to know the community, get to know the builders, and then maybe the ones who are or more or like on the sidelines, for example, if you aren't like logged into the idea, maybe you'll get a spark in the builders chat as well, right? Like this again, there's no shame in like building something that's already been done before. Like there are no bad ideas. It's just turning those ideas into viable products, and that's the part I want to like focus on. Sign up, and we'll like there will be like communications during the I mean, we're gonna like keep rolling out some announcements and notifications. So I'll set up the builders chat like right away and send invites to the ones who have been approved on the Luma, and we will kick off the cohort right away.
Nice. All excited. Ryan, any top 3 ideas that you can think that you are super excited to see through this bootcamp? Like, what would be gems that you would like?
I think people want to do fun things. I think when you look at iPhones and mobile app ecosystem, everybody talks about the iPhone 4 moment. iPhones existed for 4 editions before they really took off, because what was the iPhone initially? It was a phone with an MP3 player, or like a phone like with a screen attached to it, and people were like, "Cool, I don't need a screen. Maybe I'll just use my BlackBerry or whatever." Like, screens are screens. Like, there's no use case of that. Then iPhone 4, what happened? Well, they had an iStore, like the App Store, with actual apps that were useful to people in that App Store. And so the ecosystem didn't take off until there was stuff to do in the ecosystem. And I feel like crypto is kind of its pre iPhone 4 moment still. Is we have a lot of the infrastructure, we have a lot of the strategy and ideation and tech that says this will be the way things are built in the future. These are the rails that they're built on. But there's just not enough things for the average consumer to care about doing. So they, might come participate in one thing, but then they don't stay in the ecosystem or keep participating in the next thing. I think we're starting to see it, but you've seen it with Top Shot, you've seen it with Football.Fun, you've seen it with prediction markets. You're starting to see consumer experiences that make sense to somebody outside of this space. So, do I have the number 1, 2, 3 idea? I have my own inklings on what some of these experiences can be, and I think you should tune in to my weekly streams that I'm going to be doing, where we build some of these products together and talk about why they're useful. But when you're thinking about what products to build, I would say priority 1 is always, what's your personal experience? A lot of really good products come from personal pain, but you just got to then validate that your pain is also felt by others, right? And that's that product market fit piece. But a lot of people just are like, I was tired of doing XYZ every day, so I built a thing to help me do XYZ every day. And then, other people usually have that issue or problem. So, what is your own like thing that you grapple with every day? How would you solve it? And I think that's a great product idea to start with. 2, what's fun? Like, what would you want to show up and do? And I think, once again, I look to the mobile app store experience, because these are just apps. Like, dApp is kind of a weird word. It's just an app has on-chain components. Like, it's an app experience. So what are the apps that I use daily on my phone? Well, I use finance apps because I need to move money around. I need to exchange money with friends. I need to, compete. I use e-commerce apps because I need to shop and do stuff. I play games for, 30-second breaks throughout the day where I need to just do something fun and distract my attention. There's entertainment apps, so I stream content and things like that. There's social experiences that I need to connect with people in different ways. These are really, like, I don't think there's many like new categories of apps outside of this. It's, what are those experiences? How are they enhanced by crypto rails? And what is the differentiator that's going to cause people to shift from Facebook to Farcaster, or, like something like that? So for ideation, for me, yeah, I could certainly give a list, but I really want people to think about the opportunity of the space we're in. And if you could build anything that you wanted to just spend an hour of your day doing, what would that thing be? And I think that's the opportunity in front of us. Is I would love to see, the community like move past, like, have our own iPhone 4 moment. And I think ApeChain could be the leader in that, of having all of these great apps to use. Abel, we will share the link to my streams once they're out. They are not out yet, but that will be available as soon as that stream series gets announced.
Great ideas. We have the gems here. Who is going to build that first? Again, if you don't know how to build, we're here to solve that. If you can endure the 4 weeks and all of my bad jokes, I can get it there. Ryan will help you point in the directions with the good ideas of what's worth building, what's not. And at the end, we're going to have this big showcase, the demo day.
Question for you, Matheus. What are some fun vibe-coded apps you've seen recently?
Oh, brother, I have seen so many things. My knack is for gaming because whenever you're vibe coding production apps like SaaS and all, you got to stress about payment. Sorry, you got to stress about data and all of these bad things happening in the past with vibe coded apps like the T app that leaked a lot of data. So vibe coding is very fun. I've seen brilliant projects vibe coded, even solving real world pains, and I have a high regard for those. But for beginners, vibe coding games has my heart because then it's pure vibes. It's just chill. Make an asteroid blaster. You make a Flappy Bird and all, and then you really learn with that. You learn what the AIs can do, what the GPTs can do. The LLMs are still very dumb, even though they call them reasoning models. They can't reason at all. It's just an illusion. There are a lot to that. If you want to dig more on the AI part, I can provide you some directions too. So I have this knack for the gaming part because it's chill, it's pure vibes. You vibe code the game, you understand how the AI can help you hosting the game on the web, the bugs that happen. Like Ryan said, there's a lot of vibe debugging there. So when you are dealing with payments, with customer data, now it can get very stressful and dangerous. So my fun part of it, vibe coding games, is like the best vibes path that I can see.
Yeah, I agree. Like I think games are a natural vibe coding outlet. I think my two best ones I've seen recently was after the Coldplay incident where the CEO got caught with his HR person. Somebody vibe coded a game where you would look. It was a pixel game, and you would search with the spotlight around the crowd and try and find that couple in the crowd. And it was just like a really fun take on like the cultural moment. So like it can you can even vibe code something that plays on a meme, right? And it is like that isn't a long-term business, but it was a social thing that got like that he probably got paid out from X just from that one post of like look at it because it got shared everywhere and everybody thought it was really cool. So it can create these like little moments. It doesn't have to turn into a full business. I think that's the thing I've seen is like marketing teams use mini apps all the time, and that's like a great vibe coding is a great outlet for those types of campaigns. So I thought that was like a really good use case. And then the other one that actually has turned into a business is somebody created a like NDA template generator thing that allows any business to create like simple legal documents without needing lawyers, and they're relatively audited and checked out and specific to industry and things like that. And it's like called NDA.me or something. It's got thousands of users just because it fulfilled a very small problem that every contractor, every business kind of deals with and has to repeat kind of consecutively. So I think those are great models as well. It can be something super small, like some small sliver, but if it's that right sliver of a thing, then I think you're going to see a lot of traction for those things. So those are my two favorite examples from like the last 6 months, probably.
Nice. So what? Just like one last thing, why would you want to build on ApeChain? Like, let's talk about a bit of vibes, a bit of culture, and what makes ApeChain unique.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
I'll go first, and then we'll kind of talk about I think insight as to why Venture Mariner decided to partner with us is a good angle here too. For me, it's a cultural thing. I think technically most L2s, L1s, even today, like they all offer the same features. They're all fast, quick, cheap, performant. You're not gonna like your apps aren't gonna go down with any of these people because of those types of issues and things like that. I think where there will be differentiation is which L2s do I go do which things on? And I think ApeChain's already always been explicit because we come from the history of the club. We come from the history of like IRL and culture and things like that to be the chain where culture happens. And culture is people doing dope shit that's like with the times, like on chain. And I think that's what we want to power is the next generation of products that people just like, oh, this is cool, and it's by ApeChain, but we ultimately want to be invisible. Like the product is going to be what makes ApeChain successful, not ApeChain itself as a brand and thing. So I view us more like you infra provider like AWS or GCP or something. People don't say powered by GCP on their apps, SaaS apps, right? But the best ones, like how does AWS advertise their chain at all the conferences? By talking about all the cool builders and Capital One's doing this and somebody's doing this, and ApeChain's going to be the same thing. So I think why ApeChain? It's because you want to be tapped in to the culture. Like we're partnered with Complex Con and Bape. If you think of all the history of all those things coming through, like this is going to be your easiest way to get that kind of connective tissue within kind of what you're building. And then it's the community. So I actually was not a part of the Ape community until the end of last year. I never owned a Yuga asset. I wasn't in any of the group chats. I wasn't an initial builder on ApeChain right when it launched. But the community drew me in because everybody was willing to help. Everybody set aside their ego to help me kind of bring my vision to life, and everybody gave feedback around like what makes things important or not. People talk about ecosystem support a lot, and a lot of times they just mean money, but I think it goes a lot beyond money. And the best support I've gotten from any type of program, chain, etc., has been the relationships I've built and what's come from those relationships and what they've unlocked for me, not somebody writing me a check and then being able to go do those things. So I'm not saying checks are off the table here. Like if you build the dopest thing, of course we're going to invest. Like we're going to take great opportunities. But I think what you're going to unlock is a set of relationships that are going to be more important in helping your business get off the ground than any amount of money, technical skills, etc. And then you're going to have fun doing it. So that's kind of my reasoning is culture and community. I just really haven't found the depth of that across other ecosystems.
Amazing. And speaking about venture miner, I guess there's a lot of synergies here. It resonates a lot with the things that we want to do. Because answering your question quickly, Alok, is because of the tech and also the vibes. Explaining why, right? I started in 2016, 17, Solidity version 0.4 something, with crypto zombies. The tutorial, I guess a lot of the OGs went through that. And then what gave me more technical background when I started looking at like gas station network and now 17, 18, was the legend Austin Griffith with this bow tie. You see how the vibes and actually the content, they go hand in hand, because we have great technical teachers there. I can shout out to 3, 4, 5 that are my friends as well in the ecosystem, but they also pair the content, quality content, the security, smart contract security, gas optimization, all with good performance, with actually the good vibes, let's call it like that, being able to explain things correctly in a good, welcoming way. And through my boot camps in the last, I guess 5, almost 6 years now, it started just before the pandemics and then had bigger opportunities after that. We trained more than 5,000 students now for Web3. I guess it's almost 8,000 now with my last accountings. At some point I'll stop tracking. So after training all of these people, some of them getting hired by Open Zeppelin, some of them like ApeChain. We have a lot of cases like that of these students making brilliant things out there because they started with a good opportunity, engaging opportunity that had good tech. Of course, we cannot just like only show, oh, let's be an entertainment show. No, it needs to be good tech together with good vibes. And this is exactly what I can find here at ApeChain, all of the ecosystem, all of the structure. Thank you, Alok, Ryan, for this whole structure, this bootcamp. It's very well thought, very well made. and I'm seeing already that we're going to have very good results. We have more than 1,200 people watching this YouTube live, more in X. So I'm sure that we're going to have fantastic results out of this bootcamp.
Absolutely. I would suggest that we start closing this session. So if anyone has any more question, just like drop them in there. Closing statements. Ryan, you want to take over?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think this is for you, right? The community. And any program you get what you put out of it into it, so inputs equals your outputs, right? So like they said, stay pace with the program, ask a lot of questions, be active in the builder chat, ping us on the side with things. I already noticed a few DMs during this of, hey, can you review this idea, this white paper, this pitch, or, can you help me with this? Like, we're happy to help make those connections and do those reviews, but this is your opportunity here. So make it your opportunity. And I'm excited because I know the quality of people that have signed up, and oh man, we're going to get some amazing products and just energy and things being built out of this. So I'm very excited. And, my closing is just a thank you to the community for participating so actively and heavily already. But I'm really excited to see what gets built and, the next generation of apps here on ApeChain.
Yeah, and if you want to plug your Vibe to Viable program as well, your upcoming stream.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, starting next week, we're going to be doing the Vibe to Viable stream. The way I took inspiration, and I want to give shout out to Serpentax, who's the Ethos founder. Ethos is one of these apps from crypto that I think has incredible legs, right? I think reputation is a big part of how we learn to trust people in a trustless society. And, they're doing some amazing things there. What he started doing was weekly, he would get on and say, hey, Ethos has this API. I'm going to build this feature that the community has been asking for, but we're going to do it together live on stream. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, that feature gets released into production on Ethos. So I was like, man, this would be really cool if we did this with ApeChain. So man, what if we built a, XP or reward system, but we built it all off of your glyph profile and activity or something. And maybe that's something that we can do on stream together one day. And it leverages a ApeChain infra product. It helps think about what makes this a viable idea and not just an idea. We'll talk a little bit about some of the concerns around scaling this post the initial prototype. A lot of those things Mateo says around okay, I start accepting payments. What's the risk here? How do I evaluate that risk and things like that? But then ultimately, over 10 sessions. So it'll last kind of a little before the workshop start and a little after the workshop start. You'll get kind of 10 prototypes out of this that we can work with different teams to kind of take to production. All of these are free, right? Both the course we're offering here with Venture Miner, but also the course that I'm going to be doing, the stream. So, just make sure you tune in and let's spread this thing to as many people. The other request I have is get your friends outside of ApeChain in the Ape community to sign up for this. There are a ton of builders on other chains who maybe they're frustrated, maybe they haven't gotten the traction over there, maybe they have an idea, they just haven't launched it yet and they're choosing chains. We want every single person in Web3 that wants to bring something to life to tune into this and potentially do it on ApeChain. So, that would be my only kind of call in action here is if you can help us proliferate this to all builders within the Web3 ecosystem, then I think that does a lot of, provides a lot of value for us. But yeah, we'll send out the links soon to kind of these Vibe to Viable streams. But ultimately, just thank you all for everything you've kind of put energy-wise into this so far.
Awesome. I would start closing this off. Great to have all of you here, and I'm really looking forward to the program. Anything, if you just one last question, I don't know anything about Web3 except the theory. That's more than enough. That's exactly right. We will walk you through all of
You are in
that.
the right place, brother. Right
Yeah,
place.
you just came to the right stream at the right time. Sign up now, go ahead, and we will kick off soon. The builder chat is coming right after this, and yeah, like I'll forward this to Mateos if you have any last words. Otherwise, we can start wrapping this up.
That's amazing. Let's go from 5 to 5.0, from idea to building with ApeChain.
Thank you all, and have a nice rest of your day, evening, and of course, like all these sessions will be recorded. You can follow them later on, and from ApeChain on top. Bye bye.
ApeChain on top.
Thank you. Bye bye.